Ladybug. This lesson is going to be on the garden hoe. This goes along with the garden series and matches perfectly with the garden shovel and the garden rake. For today's lesson, we're going to need a few extra supplies. You will need a piece of 16 gauge wire or a wooden toothpick to use for the support system of your handle. Your handle is going to be a little limp because it is, of course, rubber band, so we need something to add support to it. So the toothpick or the piece of wire work fine for that. For today's lesson, you're going to need about 7 bands in black. I'm choosing black today. My handle color is going to be yellow, so I need 21 bands. And the bottom of the hoe, the actual hoe portion, is going to be gray, and you'll need around 23 bands for that. So let's begin this lesson with our loom set in its offset configuration with the arrows pointing towards our body. And we're going to begin by placing a single band on the center section of the loom, dangling over the outside edge. That's going to be our securing slip knot band at the very end. Your next step is to take a single black band and wrap it around your hook 3 times. You want to make sure that you have 3 bands showing on your hook. Then you want to take 2 bands and pull that over into the center of those 2 bands. And then we're going to be stretching that out across our pegs here in the center. This is adding a little bit of extra support that we can run the wire through. That little band there underneath is going to be what we run the wire through on the back of the project once we get done. We need to do that again, a single band wrapped around our hook 3 times with 2 bands pulled through, and then place that on your loom. And we're just going to come straight down our loom 2 times with the black, and then we're going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times with yellow. So now we're going to be switching to yellow, and we're doing the same thing 3 times around, 2 yellow bands pulled through, and place on your loom. And I'm experiencing trouble getting my bands to stay on my loom today, so I'm sorry about that. 3 bands again, or I'm sorry, 3 twist, 2 bands pulled through, and place that on your loom. 3 twist, 1, 2, 3, 2 bands pulled through, place that on our loom. 3 twist, 1, 2, 3, 2 bands pulled through, place that on our loom. 1, 2, 3, 2 bands pulled through, place that on our loom. 3 twist again, 1, 2, 3, 2 bands pulled through, pull that through our loom, or set that on our loom. I'm just going to recount real quick. I'm not sure how many I have here, but I know I need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 1 more to do. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 2 bands pulled through, and place that on my loom. Okay. Now you should have 1, 2, 3 open pegs left. Our next area is going to be 2 gray bands that you need to double twist on your fingers and then lay that next on your loom. It was 2 bands double twisted. Our next is going to be 2 gray bands going from left to center, 2 gray bands coming down the left side, and 2 additional gray bands coming down the left side. We're going to take 2 bands, go from center to right, 2 bands coming down on the right side, and 2 additional bands coming down on the right side. For our center area, we're going to finish off with 2 bands and 2 bands. And I'm going to add an extra band from the bottom left peg to the center. That's just 1 band. And I'm going to do the same thing on the right side with 1 band. Our center peg here needs to be capped with a 3-time cap band. 1, 2, 3. I've wrapped it around my hook 3 times, and I'm just stretching that out across to do the 3-time cap band. My horizontal bands for this project are going to be a little different. You want to take a single band, and we're going to go from the upper left portion where the bottom of the hoe starts to the second peg on the right, and we're going to form an X across this area. So we're going from left top to center right, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Left center to right top. And that was a single band that were used to form an X across that area there. Now we're ready to start to loom our project. To begin to loom, you want to reach into that cap band, grabbing the single band that's on top and bringing it down to your right peg. Reach into that cap band again, that next single band, and it's going to come over to our left peg. Reach into that cap band again, grabbing the 2 bands that are there, and they're looping straight forward. Our next step is to work on the left side. We're going to reach into this bottom left peg, move our band straight forward, reach into this area here, pushing back that cap band, that horizontal band, and you're grabbing the bottom 2 and coming forward. Into this peg here, you're pushing back that horizontal cap band, grabbing the bottom 2 and coming over to the center peg. We need to finish off the right side, pushing back the top 2 bands that are there, grabbing the bottom 2 and looping forward. Push back the horizontal band, grab the bottom 2 and loop forward. Push back your horizontal bands, grab the bottom 2 and over to your center diagonal. Now we need to finish up this one piece here in the center, reaching in, pushing back all that cap band area, or the horizontal bands, whichever way you call them, and we're going to loop straight forward. This peg here is going to be pretty congested, and it's going to be fairly tight because that is the 2 bands that we double twisted. So there's actually going to be what looks like 4 bands on this peg. Reach in, pushing back everything, and you want to get to those bottom bands. And then you're going to gently wiggle them out because they're pretty tight in there and loom straight forward. Some of my bands fell off, and that's okay. I'm just going to cover them back up down there. And now it's just straightforward looping. You want to make sure that your little center section is pointing more towards the upper peg, like all these little 3 twists that we did. I'm going to start down here where the gray connects with the yellow. I'm grabbing the bottom 2 yellow, and I'm wiggling that out because it's going to be pretty tight, and just looming straight forward. Bottom 2 yellow, straight forward. Bottom 2 yellow, straight forward. Bottom 2 yellow, straight forward. And I don't think I need to repeat myself for that little area there, but we're just grabbing the bottom 2 and coming forward. Now I've reached my black bands. Bottom 2, come forward. Bottom 2, come forward. Now we've reached the end of our project where our dangle band is. You want to reach in through that center band or center peg, grabbing that band, pulling it up through, slip knot it off, and now we can just take our project off our loom. If any of you have followed me before, you know I use the back of my hook, especially when you get to these congested areas at the bottom. You want to use your hook to take it off. That way they don't go breaking, stretching out all crazy and wonkers and stuff. But you want to just give your hoe at the bottom a little tug and pull just to stretch out your band some. You'll see that it is slightly odd looking as far as the curvature. What you need to do is to take your hook, and where we had that cluster of 2 bands wrapped twice, pierce through the edge right there in that link. And I want you to pull down on the gray part and pull up with your hook. So with this one hand, grab the hoe portion and pull down. With your other hand, you're pulling up with the hook. So pull down here and up with your hook. And that is going to give your hoe the little bit of curvature that it needs. And then once we add our support beam through, you're going to have a really cute looking hoe. Our next step is to hide our dangle band if you wish to hide it. I like to hide mine on these because I'm not using it as a charm. I'm going to be using it in my garden scene. And then we just want to take our wire or a toothpick, and we want to run it right through that set of 3 twist bands. You just want to run right down through those. Makes applying your wire very easy with this technique, with those 3 bands on the back. Pierce through the front of your hoe a little bit so you get that in for support. Stretch it out to your length and likeness. And then we're just going to trim off our wire piece here, our excess wire. And we have got ourselves a cute looking little garden hoe. And yes, that piece of wire went flying clean across my room again. Here we have our cute little garden hoe to go along with our garden rake and our shovel. If you haven't already done the shovel also, that'll be on my channel very soon. Please follow along and post your creations at Crafty Ladybug - Rainbow Loom Creations on Facebook. Or if you have any questions, you can contact me through my website at www.craftyladybugcreations.com and also Instagram at Crafty Ladybug. Thank you guys so much.